Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to Global News, Iran has rejected the latest ceasefire proposal, instead calling for a permanent end to the conflict with guarantees against future attacks. This rejection comes as U.S. President Donald Trump's deadline approaches for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway for global oil shipments. Trump has warned that failure to comply could lead to severe U.S. escalation, threatening to set Iran back to the Stone Ages and giving Tuesday 8 p.m. Washington time as his final deadline. Meanwhile, Israel has intensified its attacks, striking a key petrochemical plant in Iran's South Pars natural gas field, the world's largest, and killing two paramilitary Revolutionary Guard commanders. These actions aim to cut off Iran's revenue and retaliate against ongoing pressure on Gulf neighbors, which has included strikes on oil fields and resulted in surging global oil prices, with Brent crude reaching $109.09 relation. Airstrikes have also hit multiple locations across Iran, including Tehran airports and a university, and targeted an official in Lebanon, with civilian casualties rising in both countries. Mediators from Egypt, Pakistan, and Turkey are reportedly working to de-escalate the situation, but Iran insists on a full cessation of hostilities with assurances. Global News reports that a recent Angus Reid Institute survey reveals a significant divide in Canadian public opinion regarding aid to Cuba amidst escalating U.S.-Cuba tensions. 51% of Canadians surveyed believe Canada should continue to provide aid to Cuba, even if it risks further upsetting the U.S.-Canada relationship. In contrast, 31% prioritize maintaining positive ties with the Trump administration. Advocating against actions that could provoke Washington, this survey comes as Cuba faces a severe fuel shortage and humanitarian crisis, exacerbated by the U.S. blockade of its main fuel supplier and threats of tariffs on any country assisting the island. Cuba's ambassador to Canada, Rodrigo Malmierca Diaz, condemned the U.S. actions as collective punishment. In response, Canada recently dispatched $8 million in food aid. While 34% of Canadians feel this aid is sufficient, 32% advocate for more support, and 19% believe less or no aid should have been sent. The article highlights that Canadians' awareness of the crisis is moderate. Broader polls also indicate a growing distrust of the U.S. among Canadians, with a majority believing trade disputes will persist and a significant portion viewing the U.S. as a global threat. Al Jazeera reports that Libya's ongoing oil sector disputes and escalating proxy wars are creating a dangerous second energy choke point, mirroring the crisis in the Strait of Hormuz and fueling European energy fears. The article notes that after U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran in late February and Tehran's response by closing the Strait of Hormuz, Brent crude prices surged to nearly $120 a barrel. Libya, ideally located to supply Europe with light sweet crude, becomes increasingly vital. However, the nation has lacked a unified government since 2014, with internationally recognized authorities in Tripoli struggling against Khalifa Haftar's forces in the east, which control major oil infrastructure. The article highlights that Haftar's forces frequently halt oil flows during political stalemates, using it as leverage. A past agreement in 2022, brokered between individuals from both sides, led to the creation of a private oil company, Arkanu, which allegedly diverted billions in oil revenues. Although this kept oil flowing to Europe, the money bypassed the Libyan state. Tripoli recently terminated this agreement, citing corruption, raising concerns that the arrangement maintaining oil flow has collapsed. U.S. brokered talks are ongoing, but progress is limited, and Haftar retains the ability to close oil ports. Furthermore, a European conflict is spilling into Libyan waters, with Ukrainian naval drones allegedly striking a Russian tanker and Russian-made munitions suspected in a pipeline explosion. While the mechanism differs from Hormuz, the threat to global oil supply remains alarmingly similar, playing out on Europe's doorstep. The race to become Quebec's next premier is heating up, according to the Canadian press. Bernard Drainville has received significant endorsements from 3 provincial cabinet ministers: Justice Minister Simon Jolin Barrette, Health Minister Sonia Bélanger, and Transport Minister Jonathan Julien. These endorsements come with less than 1 week remaining in the Coalition Avenir Quebec's leadership contest to replace outgoing Premier François Legault. Drainville is campaigning on a platform focused on defending Quebec identity and implementing stricter immigration policies. His rival, Christine Frechette, has adopted a more centrist approach, emphasizing economic issues. While Frechette currently leads in public polls, Drainville argues these polls do not accurately reflect the opinions of Quebec members. The new leader of the Quebec is scheduled to be selected this Sunday. The Canadian press presents a series of images from the Artemis II mission, documenting its journey towards the moon. The gallery features the 4-person crew: Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover, and mission specialist Christina Koch and Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen. These striking photographs, taken between April 2 and April 6, 2026, capture various moments of the mission. They include views of Earth from the Orion spacecraft, glimpses of the moon in the distance, and astronauts performing activities such as pre-lunar flyby preparations and speaking with NASA Mission Control. The images, sourced from NASA and the Canadian Space Agency, offer a unique perspective on humanity's return to lunar exploration. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.